has coffee and food. It's actually a pretty warm day. Occasionally we hear an owl. And this was the setup for today. A beautiful area. There's a gentleman next to us with a hammock, so I won't show you that. But should be a good day. Don't know how far we'll go. I think we're going to Stacoa Gap shelter. Let's find out. Oh, we're about 1.1 miles in. The usual views. Beautiful warm day today. I think we're gonna bake. I'm already down to my sun shirt, and that's it. It was about 44 in the tent, which is really odd. And we get to go up this hill. It'll be a hill, kind of a flat top for a bit, downhill, good steep uphill, and then we just hit bumps for a while. So it would be a more pleasant day. Well, we're not much further along than 1.1. That short, steep hill was a good short, steep hill. I think a lot of it comes with fatigue from yesterday too. Definitely not feeling as chipper on my feet. I think this will be the 5th day in a row of hiking. No big deal in the grand scheme of things, but like most workouts, need a day of rest. So we're looking forward to taking some time off. Another day, maybe 2. We have a friend you've probably heard us refer to. He's going to try and catch up so we can do the Smokies together. She'll probably want some time off as well. So that's actually about flat. She's down there. Probably tell from her walk. She's not exactly dancing. All right, I lied. I thought that was the top of the hill. Nope. It's like a hair of Dilbert's pointing here, hairy boss. You go up the hill, then you have to do this point. Then after the point, we're gonna go down into the bowl, and then we got another point to do. Then we go down. It looks like it's even steeper on the backside. It's really not the height of these hills, it's how steep the hills are. It's not even miles out here. It's really elevation and how steep it is. If you're lucky and it's a gentle uphill, downhill, you can make some pretty good miles out here and get some good elevation as well. Once you start getting this 45-degree, sometimes plus elevation changes, it takes the starch out of me real quick. So I think we've undone all the good. We're also talking about feeling that fatigue from the last few days. Oh well, there she is. Smile. She's not feeling like smiling, I can tell you that. Neither am I. Yeah, early in the day and we're already dead. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Gotta imagine at some point somebody stayed back there. Or something. Alright, I gotta go catch up.
We just arrived at Stacoa Gap, and Paul's over there pulling some snacks together. And we're going to stop here for about 15 minutes and take a rest. The trail's just been killing our legs this morning. There was this little placard here that shows some of the birds that are here in North Carolina. So I think down this trail is where you can go bird watching. We've noticed that as we're sitting here on the picnic table, we're looking out. And yeah, the smoke out there is pretty thick today. We're smelling it as we're coming down the mountain. So I'm not sure if we're heading towards it or not. We were sitting here having a little snack, and a couple came by and dropped off some sodas and 2 bags of treats for us. Very sweet couple. And there's the other one. They've hiked the AT 4 times, and they're going about, they've retired, and so they're, making, I think they're going on a trip across the U.S. to visit all the national parks over the next few months. So anyway, good job, huh?
Well, down there is where we just had our little break. Here she comes, ready to pass me up. And that's our future, 2.4 miles to the Brown Fork Gap Shelter, which is the next place for us to get water. Key factor. And then some number of miles past that, I think 8 or something miles from here, we get to the shelter we'd like to camp at. But you never know, there's some camp spots in between, so we'll play it by ear. Anyway, we got to go uphill and get our behind rearranged. We're about halfway up the hill from Stacoa Gap, and it's been a grind. The hill's rough, no doubt about it. It's a good, I'm gonna guess 30-degree incline or so. Pretty much so far the whole way. And we're tired. Whew. So there's proof that not everything out in the woods is beautiful.
We just arrived at Brown Fork Shelter, and you see it's up there on the hill. And I just came down this little tiny trail. I don't know why I didn't bring my trekking poles. It's slippery with these leaves. But anyway, I came down to filter some water, and there is this nice, reliable stream. This is a nice surprise. I am pretty thirsty. We haven't drank enough water today. And some of these hills that I think we just, you can't even see it. That was the last one we just came down. Oh, just brutal.
All right, off to Stacoa Gap Shelter. 6.1, had a nice break at the Brown Fork Gap Shelter. Seems like it's getting colder for some reason. Not a good sign. We're not sure. We think that might be our first glimpse of Fontana. Big lake kind of circles around. It's got a dam. It's low. I remember the lady at the last hostel telling us that they let the water out and flood areas for whitewater rafting and ecology, whatever else, and then let it fill up again. So that may be why it's so low. Hogback Gap. Yep, that's the name. Somebody spent some time on this little site. I guess you could tent right here, but it has some really fine logs. It'd be nice. But we're moving on. So we're a little bit in pain, tired. Got maybe another mile and a half, I don't know, until where we're planning on stopping. And you come across something like this. Oop, slippery stairs, loose leaves.
Careful.
That didn't look like fun. Gotta appreciate it. Well, 6 miles since we were at Stacoa Gap, I guess. And ain't this the truth, guys? Back it in, back it out. So we're going down to this gap, whose name I didn't really catch. You can see a road down there. And we got a bit of a hill. Go down that, hit camp. Not sure what time it is. I think it's probably getting on towards 5 or so. We'll see.
We just arrived at Stacoa Gap Shelter, and we're passing this little stream here. As you can see, water coming out of a pipe to make it easy for us. And if I pan around, here's the shelter. It's I think it's one of the older, one of the original ones. The roof looks like shingles, and it's seen better days, that's for sure. Here again, here are these hangs for supposedly your backpacks that the mice can't get to. I don't know, still not a fan. Anyway, inside you can see some of the, I think they've probably updated this for a while, because there's some of that plaster between the logs, and I think it supposedly sleeps 4. We are not sleeping in this thing tonight because 1, the mice, and 2, my tent is usually a lot warmer than sleeping in these shelters. Anyway, I wanted to show you this too in the log. Let me step back a bit. See these little, it's like S-shaped, looks like metal brackets, and I don't know if they use those just to keep the logs together. I have no idea, but it's kind of cool. They've got them in there too. So anyway, our tent is up here. there's not too many flat spots around here for tents. But we got over there. We're the only ones here, but I have a feeling we're going to probably have some guests tonight. We passed about 2 or 3 hikers that I think were trying to come this way. There's a privy over there, and there's some more running water, but I certainly wouldn't pull water from that little stream below that privy. And then our bear hangs are way down here somewhere. I couldn't find too much available, but got 2 bear hangs going for, we separate our food out so that if an animal gets a hold of one, hopefully we're able to survive on the other bag if they haven't gotten that one too. Here's the roof of that log cabin too. Really needs some work, but I don't know, like I said, not sure when they come in and update these cabins or shelters. All right, here's our tent. We are ready to crash tonight. We are exhausted, and they even have a little fire pit ring here. We usually don't ever have campfires because it's just too much responsibility. And I think the states also had some dry spell, and so I don't think they really encourage people to have campfires. So we just avoid them altogether. Here's the little stream that's running right by our campsite, so it's pretty nice. And there's a kind of like a little waterfall in there. I would probably pull water from up here in this little creek, but as it gets closer, as you can see, going down to the privy, yeah, I wouldn't pull water out of that after that point, because you don't know what's soaking into the soil and then into the water system.
Hello.
Hi, we're in our tent, and we are at the Stacoa Gap shelter. And so far, we're the only ones here. We're about 5 miles from Fontana Dam. Today was exhausting. The mountain has kicked our tushes every single day, but I think today, I don't know.
I think it was just aggregate because we've been out here for 5 days and there's been some really good hills, particularly yesterday and then even downhill the day before. When we slack packed, it was really nice to slack pack, but it was a steep downhill. And I really noticed it yesterday because we went steep uphill. We just went long uphill and then downhill and then uphill. But we had a bit of uphill yesterday, but it was a pretty steep downhill. Once we started getting into the serious downhill, I really noticed that knee action from the day before.
Yeah.
So I think it's just aggregate. When we got out today, we didn't have the PEP, we didn't have the step. I think we need that recovery time.
Yeah, so we're going to go into Fontana for at least a couple days. We're going to be waiting for our friend to catch up with us, resupply, do some laundry, and we're going to evaluate the weather conditions for the Smokies. We do have our permits, and so we're
We're trying new quilts too. I've got Jane's quilt because she's been cold. She's got
I've got his 10-degree quilt.
My 10-degree quilt. We even swapped pads so we can see if maybe that's why she's cold.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be cold tonight. Who knows?
Right. Well, we're exhausted. We're going to call it quits for the day.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.